Welcome to episode number 55 of the BEBC
BS
Podcast. Morning, fellas.
Morning.
How's everybody?
Doing great this morning.
Look at that.
That's good. I'm not wet like I was last week. I was still
Yeah,
wet
did you
last
dry
week.
out by
Little
the
bit.
time you got here last week? It's just nasty last week.
It was.
Yesterday?
I'm glad it wasn't raining though. That
it was
mist
just
was
misty.
better than rainy.
Last
Hey,
night
misty
wasn't
for
too
me.
bad.
No, last
It
night was good.
chilly,
There's a little chill, but not.
but
Not too bad a wind,
cold.
right?
Now,
It wasn't
tailgate wind was awful.
Yeah.
We had to fight that class yesterday.
Yeah.
And
but if you stood in the sun, it was warm.
first of all,
Prosper.
Turn your phones off.
yeah,
Oh, that's an important message from one of our boys.
55. We just almost blew right over that.
Oh, here we go. 55.
Shout out to
Buster.
No. Nick
Nick
Boyd.
Boyd.
Nick Boyd.
Hey, there we
Current
go.
number 55 on the Allen Eagle roster.
Nick.
Congratulations, Nick, on another district championship last night. So keep that number alive.
And maybe that's the trivia question. Does anybody know a number 55 that had some significant contributions in the past to the team?
Significant contribution.
Yeah,
to
that's-
the league.
Isn't that kind of like
No,
saying
it's-
scrub?
No.
You said that. Not me.
But we went back and looked, and 55 has.
It's a middle number.
Oh, that you doing that? I thought something flew in the air because I saw the shadow. I was like, "What's in my shot?"
Squirrel.
David's over here playing with
June
stuff.
bugs in November.
But number 55 for the Allen Eagles has not been enough. We sat here and racked our
A
brains
popular number.
and couldn't think of any number 55 that rang anybody's memory. Now,
Yeah.
for those of you who had children or grandchildren that were number 55, we apologize.
Oh, and then feel free to let us know.
Yeah, let us, leave a comment if you know a 55.
We're old people.
Because we went back and looked and we found some names, but none of us recognized the
Yeah.
names. So number 55.
And we've had some recent conversations with some older alums,
We went back to
from the
1932 and we still couldn't find anybody.
Yeah.
Nobody's ever had 55.
Yeah. What name was it you saw?
The German guy?
Yeah, the German.
I think his name was Hans Sphincter.
Yeah, that one. And no one recognized. I mean,
He is a
nope.
doctor. He is a proctologist
Oh,
in town.
yeah.
Congratulations. So, I've got several topics I wrote down that have nothing to do with football,
Yep.
so to speak,
Same here.
that happened in the course of this week.
Let's take a vote on it.
All right, we could do that. First of all, we have Nolan at the end of the table down there
Hey, Nolan.
because Nolan broke his streak of 3 games being in attendance yesterday. And so,
Yeah, we'll get into other streaks a little bit
yeah.
later.
We had a fall down there.
That's right, the fine will be coming.
So Nolan has become a skeletal man down there. And Thad was kind enough to
Do up
give
a
him a
face.
little mask, and that's a razorback on the thing. I know it's hard to see.
Do his best Da Vinci imitation.
Yeah, but
Yeah, exactly.
he's here and he's missing teeth and all that stuff. So his eyeballs are going one way and the other. But anyhow, something we found out yesterday, and we had this the week before at McKinney when you went up there to start tailgating, and the gates are locked. And I get a call from Brandon Weber yesterday. I don't know, noonish. Says, "Hey, do you need the stadium manager's name?" I'm like, "Well, what for?" He goes, "Well, they have a tailgate policy that you can't start tailgating until 3 o'clock. And, we plan on getting there at 2. And I was just like, seriously? And so I'm going to give a shout out to the Allen ISD
Yeah.
for not having or do they have one?
I don't.
I shouldn't say
They
that
might.
because I didn't check.
Well, Allen ISD, thank you for not hassling us for getting there whenever we get there.
Yeah.
If there is said policy.
If there is said policy, thank you for
We will
letting
give
us
them the flying
violate
finger
that
of
policy.
fate.
Kind of like no noisemakers.
Yeah.
And they're all over the stadium.
Over and over and over. And I'm like, okay, so what's up with this policy that these districts have? I'm trying to figure out why. Why is that a problem for school districts? Especially like when we got there at Prosper yesterday, We actually met a Prosper police officer who was an Allen graduate.
Yeah, from 1990.
And he gave us the whole skinny on the Prosper Police Department. 22 officers, and I swear 21 of them were cruising
At the
that
game.
parking lot,
Yeah.
starting at 2 o'clock. They
Overtime.
were everywhere.
It's all about overtime, man.
It's just like the rest of the town. Now's the time to go steal because they're all
Let's
over
go rob
here.
a bank.
Well,
You
and
know,
if you've
looking
got a
for
stadium
tailgate
like theirs
violators or
is,
something.
they're stadiums that are close and adjacent to the high school, and so I could see, okay, yeah, you're doubling up on parking. You don't want people out there, while the school kids are messing around, whatever. But the stadium is isolated. It's like got multiple fences between the high school and the stadium.
It's Prosper's new crown jewel, so they want to be part of it.
What is it? It's
As
the
Thad put it, the
palace
in the pasture.
palace in the pasture.
But what's up with this tailgate policy that you can't tailgate until 3 o'clock?
Well, and then at the great stadium, parking all around the stadium, and then you funnel them, everybody, home and visitor, into one entrance, and then make them go all the way around. That's silly. It's nuts.
It was
bad management.
Well, there were two things. That's one of them. The
Yeah.
other thing and I said this to Al. Al and I drove up together yesterday. We took the tollway, went to Frontier. The minute I turned on Frontier, I was like, "You've got to be kidding me!" And again, I'm in the real estate business. I understand civil engineering
Ooh.
and what it needs to be done around projects and this, that, and the other. Why in the world that road has not been widened to 4 lanes when you've got a major high school and the Prosper Independent School District Stadium, since they're going to have multiple high schools up there on that road, and it's a 2-lane road. And I told Alan, I said they had plenty of time to widen this road when they built the stadium, because that wasn't a quick project. There was plenty of time to do that. Now, what we learned from another police officer was that, because evidently the north side of that road is Salina.
Yeah.
So they own half that road.
And Salina is the holdup, not Prosper. And whether that's true or not, shame on Salina
Yeah, I can see that.
if they're holding that up.
Well, and Salina rhymes with Regina, Canada. Yeah.
Regina is Saskatchewan,
There you go. See?
Canada. You ever been there?
I have not.
No.
It's
Okay.
cold
It's
this
cold.
time of year.
But to build a project like that and not have access, and again, I understand, because we talk about this all the time. It's always an exception when Alan comes to town, because no one is as big as Alan, and no one typically brings as many people as Alan. 18 buses for the band and all that stuff. But it's just beyond me, even in the smaller town like that, why you don't have 4 lanes, and multiple access
Points
into that
in and out.
stadium.
Yeah. Well, and
Now,
they did.
going
They had
out,
like
they did
3 or
better.
4. They had 3 or 4 possible
you know what,
accesses,
it's
but
not
they had them
even-
all blocked off.
It's not only the stadium, that's a huge park. They've
Yeah.
got baseball fields and softball fields
Yep.
and park area, and you just have that one entrance. I mean, it makes no sense.
It was crazy. But luckily, we got there 2:15ish, and we kind of played it by the rules and just sat there for a little bit. Set up at 3. I think we could have set up and nobody would have said anything, although there were plenty of Prosper ISD people around, and we just didn't want to
Parking watching this.
Yeah.
No, but it was funny because when we pulled up and both cars sit there and parked, and along comes this police cruiser, and he just kind of pulled up behind us and just sat there.
Yeah.
And you're like, we're not doing anything.
I know.
But, suspicious vehicles.
Yeah.
So, anyhow, I don't understand this whole 3 o'clock tailgate policy these ISDs are putting in, because anybody who's going to typically come to a high school football game and tailgate, it's not a college game. Now,
Yeah.
typically you're not violating the rules, although there are many people who do, as it relates to consumption of alcoholic beverages.
Yep.
But I don't understand this whole 3 o'clock thing. So thank you, Allen ISD, for not, being a
For being
stickler
flexible
about that. Yeah.
and but still taking care of. I mean,
Yep.
Mr. Cheney
Yep.
does a really good job of keeping things in control and managing it and patrolling. And
So the stadium itself, it's their new stadium.
Palace?
Yeah.
Call
Palace.
it what they want.
Palace
They
in
did. They
the
did
pasture.
not call it the crown jewel, which is good to hear. We didn't hear that 2 weeks
that was
in a row.
nice. It's okay. I mean, it's a nice setup. I love the video boards along the sides, between the upper
like
deck and
McKinney
the
has.
bottom deck. Yeah. Get the stats during the game, which is really cool
Which
to
they
be able
didn't
to
do.
see.
It was all advertising. They had the score right in the middle, and the rest of it was all advertising.
Oh, I saw stats.
They
Yeah,
ran
that's-
quick.
Yeah, they
though.
ran stats.
They
Yeah,
did run
they, yeah,
stats
they,
When was that?
all during the
During the
game.
game.
yeah. But it was quick. It was like
Oh,
an
I s-
advertisement.
It'd roll up.
It rolled constantly.
All I saw were the advertisements.
Like
for the
McKinney
sponsors.
held it up there, and they would update it and leave it up there.
Right.
They rolled a bunch of stuff through,
Right.
so it was up there at times.
Of course, they do have the stadium sponsorship, and I'm
Yeah,
sure
So
they've
I
been
just
more
saw
active.
every
than
time I
that.
looked, there was
Yeah.
a sponsor flipping up there.
Here's what it reminded me of, and yes, they did put in, and we'll get to this in a minute, a reserve seating section in the middle of both sides. I looked at it, and we walked around it before the game and took various views of it. It reminded me of Wiley with a brick facade.
Yeah,
Now, it's a little bigger than
and no
Wiley.
track around it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And I was just like, meh. And now, there's ample parking, I think. I think they did a great job with the amount of parking they have.
Yep.
Again, we've already talked about the parking issues.
Plus the parking's all the way around the
Yeah.
stadium.
Yeah, that's
completely.
good. They just need to figure out the whole in
Right.
and out and all that stuff. But
Yeah.
I just, for what you pay for these things anymore, and I think McKinney's the same way, bang for your buck.
53 million, really?
Yeah, just like, meh. And
Prosperous
again,
was 53.
Yeah.
it meets their need,
Yes, it does.
which is
5A.
yeah, but you get up there and you got metal seating with no backs. You're like, okay. Field turf was nice. Love the turf.
Yeah.
But then
like
you
the
have the
two-tone.
reserve seating. Okay.
Who does this?
I don't know, but there were a lot of people upset. Anthony Patton texted me when I got our tickets Monday or whenever that was.
Monday.
He texted me exact same time I was doing it. And he's like, dude, what is going on? He goes, I just bought reserved seats, but I don't have seats.
No seat numbers.
So you have a non-reserve reserve seating section.
yeah.
So it's basically a free-for-all
Free-for-all.
for reserve seating, which nobody checks whether you have reserve seating tickets or not. So
Well, my lady said she came and wanted to see when
Did
I
she?
went up the first time. She goes, "Are you general admission or are you reserve seating?" I said, "Reserve seating." She showed her the paper.
did she ask to see it?
Yes.
'Cause
Wow.
I didn't have that.
Yeah,
I just,
no. Nobody asked
I
me
didn't
either.
either.
so typically anybody can sit up there. Again, don't care that much, but it's just really weird to charge extra.
Well, it's nice to be able to, if you're going to do reserve seats, have assigned seating so that we can tailgate until, like the last minute and then go in
Yeah, that's true.
and
too.
know that you've
Because
got a
it's
place
a
to sit.
reserved seat.
Yeah,
Yeah.
we got caught with our pants down yesterday trying
Yeah,
to get
we
in the
did.
stadium.
Oh,
because again, they never. That's another thing. The
they open at what,
5:30,
5:30?
but
5:30.
there's no gates will open at 5:30. There's none of that, so you just kind of have to play it by ear. And of course, we're in the middle of eating, and everybody's wandered in. So, but we had good seats, sat in 50-yard line, 3 rows up.
Yeah.
Got to sit with the mayor
Near,
pro
near
tem.
the politicians, yeah.
That's right. We were political last night.
That's right.
Who's the
Poor,
mayor pro tem?
Gary Kaplinger.
he's depressed today.
Oh,
because
Valley.
really?
Yeah.
He was, Plano got destroyed last night.
We will talk Plano.
He's a
in little
graduate
bit.
from Plano.
He is.
Aw.
But Gary and his wife, and I told
His wife's awesome.
his wife can be a balding eagle
Yes.
anytime she wants.
Yeah.
And I won't repeat what she said because we get in trouble if we said that. But she had the line of the night, and it was awesome. And we told her she could sit with us anytime she wanted. So kudos to her for just making us all laugh. It was great. So good night up there and that. But pregame, I want to talk pregame. I had this written down too because that was one of the coolest things. Kudos to Prosper
Yeah,
for doing
way to
that.
go. Prosper and the kids and whatever the broadcasting program
Yep.
that they've got going on
They
there.
had a pregame show.
Right. Live.
It's like watching Dallas Cowboys pregame show. It was Prosper pregame show.
It was a little bit over the top.
Are
but
you rolling your
and
eyes?
Buffy, she was great.
Buffy. It's a learning process.
Yeah.
And hopefully whoever's running that for them will say,
Yeah.
review yourself. What do you think?
Right.
I don't know what she kept looking at
Watch
up in
your-
the stars, but she kept rolling her eyes to the top. And
It was
But
great.
it was
But it
great.
was
It was
cool.
great pregame commentary.
they
and
went over last week's game
That's
and,
right.
and what happened with Prosper guys. They gave kind of what they expected and who they thought their players of the game were going to be.
Yeah.
Um,
And they also gave some credit to Allen. They said, yeah, it's probably not going to be quite as easy this week. And
Yes.
it wasn't.
it was not.
No.
And so but that was a cool thing to do. I was like, man, I'd love
Yeah.
to do that.
That was a nice setup.
Just to be able to talk shop, basically.
Right.
Is what
And they had
did.
it in the field house. The four
Yeah.
kids were set up with a studio kind of set up in the field house.
Yep, that was cool.
Right outside the field.
So then you get to the game, and what happens? You go to the coin toss.
Alan wins the toss.
Game
Defers.
over.
Game over.
Game over. Allen wins the toss, defers. Prosper gets the ball. And I think pretty quickly.
They drove.
Eh,
Well, they were working it to the outside.
They
They were
did.
getting
They-
around the corner.
got two first
at
downs.
number
they
4.
did get to the Allen side of the field. But they had 3 penalties. False start penalties.
We'll talk about the first kickoff too.
Oh, we start there.
Yes.
God.
We have to.
Inadvertent whistle.
Inadvertent whistle.
We thought
What
we
the
were,
heck is
thought we
that?
were in Longview.
And what did we say? The next kick, they'll down it in the end zone.
And of course they did.
They did.
Well, we thought the next kick they'd return it for a touchdown, and that would really make people mad. But
Oh my gosh.
we would have lost it then. I've never seen that before.
To kick over. To do the play over when
Okay,
there's
you could have an
whistle.
inadvertent whistle, but the inadvertent whistle happens during the course of the play,
And it blows the play dead.
which to me, and again, I didn't hear an inadvertent whistle because
hear it
they
all.
actually fumbled on that, and now
Right.
they picked it up and ran it 10 yards further.
Yeah.
The officials picked up the ball, decided to move it back to where I guess
11.
somebody called him down,
Right.
where the first whistle blew. And
But that's it.
and then they
Our
huddled.
mistake play over.
That's where it
That's
should
where
have
they
been.
take it.
Yeah. And inadvertent whistle, and then you have a huddle, and they come out and say inadvertent whistle. We're going to replay the kick. What is that? and I don't. We probably don't have any of. Yeah, I'm not even going to go there.
Yeah.
I want
There
somebody
may
to
be some
explain it.
ruling that explains that. So let us know.
You got some explaining to
Matt
do.
Stepp, let us know on that.
Maybe let's get a
It was the weirdest thing ever.
referee on the podcast.
Oh, I don't know.
That's
about
where I
that.
said I didn't want to go.
Have Terry pick
so
them.
much
We'll
to
have
say
some.
there.
We'll have somebody with a mask on.
We'll get
so
one
they're-
of Terry's buddies to come out here and talk to us. So yeah, that was weird. So we re-kicked it, gets in the end zone. So they get the ball, and they do run in the Allen territory, but they have 3 false start penalties on that drive,
yeah,
and they end up punting.
which kind of blocked them up. Yeah.
Which, okay, fine, punt. Allen gets the ball at their own 11-yard line, and we've got to stop right there and say, Allen is shorthanded in the running back position.
Yep.
Well, actually, there's it's kind of weird. The defensive players, Lane Lewis, Zatique McGee, Jaden Healy, are all back.
Yep.
So the defense is kind of
Bolstered
strength.
back up. Yeah. Yep.
You go to the offensive side of the ball. Selden Manning's out, Jordan Johnson's out,
Yep.
Bryson Green's out.
Yep.
You're like, man, they just kind of traded, and so
Yeah.
you're a little shorthanded.
Yeah.
But I looked at it and I was like, you know what? We're going to get a big dose of
Sam
Hunter, Jalen
Hunter,
Jenkins, Thunder and Lightning, as we love to call them
Yeah.
back here.
Jalen, Hunter and Jenkins.
And I told Alan on the way up there, I said, if Selden and Jordan are out, I think you're going to see Raylan run a little bit more tonight too, and you got that as well.
Yep, we did.
So during the course of the game, that's what you ended up seeing. It was 3 running backs basically running. So Allen gets the ball. They get a 6-yard run. You get a holding penalty. You're like, oh, here we go.
And then we go backwards.
But then a good mixture of run pass. You got a 32-yard completion to Toure Green in there. You got Jalen running most on that series. You get a 24-yard pass to Blaine down to the Prosper 20-yard line around in there. Jalen runs for 5. Sherfield has a 4-yard loss on a
Weird side-to-side
yeah.
sweep.
Yeah, quit running these.
It was a jet sweep that did not make it upfield.
Yeah,
Wasn't a lot of jet
no.
No.
to it.
There was a lot of sweep, but then you're at the 16-yard line, and
Little scramble and
Justin Hall's left wide open in the flat. And
yeah.
that to me, Raylan threw that ball so hard. I was like, he's going to knock the poor
Yeah.
kid down.
Uh-huh.
Yeah,
So
there
it
were
was
a
a good
couple.
catch.
Yeah, and there were a couple passes where he was going to the outside to the sidelines, and he just kind of lollipopped the pass out there, and you think, man, throw it harder, and he did.
He did.
That was nice to see.
20-yard touchdown, 7-0. Great kickoff. Prosper goes 3 and out. You're like, we've had the best start we can think of. We've stopped them twice. We've scored.
Yep. Now what?
They punt. Allen gets the ball at their own 47. And then it's lightning show then. Sam Hunter's turn.
Yeah.
You know, he runs for 19, completed pass to Sherfield for 7. Another guy that was back last night, Sherfield.
Yeah.
He'd been out a couple
Yep.
weeks.
Yep.
And then you have Sam rushes for a yard. It's 4th down and 2. And give the ball to Jalen Jenkins. 3 yards, first
Pops
down.
it out, yeah.
And then Raylan takes off, ends up scoring on a 2-yard run after they converted another 3rd down. 2-yard runs, 14-0. You're like, things are going well.
Right.
No
We got a flow.
complaints.
Yeah.
Defense playing great. You take it, you run with it. That's the end of the first quarter. So at that point, and in my mind, that I didn't say anything because I'm horrible about saying things that jinx the team. You've now gone 5 straight quarters without giving up a point.
Yeah.
Your defense is starting to come into form. Plus, you got everybody back.
Yeah.
Yep.
So it's,
And you did end up saying something, but it was good. It was after 6.
yeah, I waited till halftime, and you know, when we did get to 7, so you can't
Oh, yeah.
jinx me for that.
Healy
No,
was
that's
surprised being back.
Yeah.
We hadn't heard that.
Yeah.
But
It
that
was good to
nice
have him
see.
back.
So Allen kicks off. You hot over there, bro?
Yeah, you know.
Just trying to keep it warm in here because it's chilly outside.
Baby, it's cold.
Prosper gets the ball. They get out to midfield, and the quarterback goes back to pass, and the ball comes flying out backwards.
Yeah.
You're like, and the officials have a big discussion. Is it a fumble? Is it not? If I remember correctly, that's the one that the Prophet recovered.
Yep.
Caused and recovered, I believe, again.
Yep.
And
Probably popped it out and
Yeah.
recovered it.
Again, on fire.
On
And I'm going to
fire.
call it right here. I'm going to call this, and we'll see if
Call it.
I'm going to be prophetic.
Call it. Pathetic?
That is your district MVP on the defensive side of the ball.
Should be.
Should be.
I want to see. I really do think he will be.
I think hands down.
I mean, Zaytik is coming in a real close second, but yeah.
The district MVP will be
Elijah Fisher.
Elijah
Yeah.
Fisher. I'm going to call it right here now. Allen gets the ball, and second quarter. This is now second quarter, and they get down to the Prosper 32. Raylan drops back to pass, and he underthrows Sherfield in the end zone. And when you underthrow people
Pick it
that
off.
far down the field, bad
Yeah.
things happen.
Yeah.
It's an interception. Prosper gets the ball. They're all fired up. Woo! Here we go. You know, we got the turnover we need. We
got
them
the
from
momentum,
scoring.
and
And they actually did. They made it down to
to the 9-yard
the
line?
Allen 9-yard line.
Yeah.
1-4 on 4th down.
Yeah, that didn't work out so well for him.
Instead of getting the points.
should have taken the 3.
Yeah. And it didn't work out so well for them. Actually, you know what? They did not on that series. They actually
seemed a
punted
little
on that
early.
series.
Oh, did they? Okay.
Yeah, they punted. Allen got the ball. Raylan rushes for 14, a pass to Blaine.
Was that nice one, like 20, 25-yard pass?
That was 14. That
Oh, okay.
later in that drive, they had a 26-yard down to the Prosper 23-yard line. He rushed for 4. Sam rushed for 5, and then Raylan rushed for 14 yards.
Now that was
for the
a series
TD.
where Raylan had to scramble and just kind of threw it up, and Blaine went up and
Blaine
just
came
snatched
back
out
to
of
get
the
it,
Yes.
snatched it. Yeah,
Yeah.
Yep, which is Blaine had another great night, 147 yards receiving.
he did.
So that's 2 back-to-back weeks. He's been over 100.
And if you look, so there's one video that's along the Prosper sidelines of that particular play, and Blaine's route is absolutely fantastic, and his ability to recover was really shown on that one because he broke to the outside about 20, 25 yards down, and then did a spin around and came back to the inside. Caught sight of the pass, and he had to go back to the outside and ended up grabbing it. It was a little bit short, underthrown, but grabbed it. And
I think he's become Raylan's
Pulled it
favorite
in.
target.
Yeah.
And they've got a good connection going. Blaine will make adjustments as needed, like you say. 21-0, and I called at that point, for all intents and purposes, game over.
oh yeah,
Because what I'd seen out of Prosper,
Yeah, they didn't show us anything.
Well, and here's what surprised me, because Prosper was supposed to have this great passing attack.
And defense.
Number one.
Did they go deep at all? Did they go deep at all?
That's what surprised me. Now, there was a reason maybe they didn't, because the D-line was wreaking havoc on the poor quarterback.
Yeah.
Kane dialed up some blitzes at times too.
Yeah, he did.
And when any quarterback, we joke about Kyler being able to sit back there and have a scotch and smoke a cigarette because he had that much time.
cigar.
You give any quarterback that much time,
Yeah, they're going to chew you apart,
They will.
dice you up. Yeah.
but it's a whole different story when you got people breathing down your neck. And Lane and Elijah and Malik Allen,
Yep,
and even later in the game, Tyson Carlton
yep.
and boy, I just went blank.
Cole,
Onward
Cole
Zeke.
Latos.
Did he even play?
I thought he did.
Yeah.
Yeah.
He was. I didn't see him.
I heard his name at least once.
The pressure was relentless on those guys. That
Yeah.
guy all night.
Yeah, the
You
pocket
couldn't
was
afford to double up on
No.
Fisher or
And so
any of those
there
guys.
wasn't a lot of
Yeah.
deep passing, and most of their stuff was short. And,
Well, and like I said at the beginning, they were rolling their quarterback out early.
Yep.
And getting him in motion mostly to the right side, and then he was, picking that number 4 and throwing to him quite a bit.
Well, and their running back,
Cyrus McDougal.
McDougal,
Yeah.
he was the other one that had a very good night.
Yeah.
Their running back, JT Lane,
Yeah.
had almost 700 yards rushing coming into the game.
was this number 4?
Number 28, the running
And
back.
I think they had 50 some odd yards total, or
they ended up with over 100.
okay,
150.
Because a lot of that came when the third quarter started and they went to the Wildcat with
right,
number
right.
4. Bailey was his
Because
last
I thought
name. Tyler
number 4
Bailey.
was their whole offensive output.
If you take him out of the game, it's a really ugly situation for them.
Yeah.
They did go deep one time, and that was that long pass down the middle after he was getting ready to get sacked.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And that's when
That's
they
when
got
they got
down to
to
the
the
9-yard
9-yard
line,
line.
and then went for it on fourth down.
Yeah,
Right.
which did not work out well for them.
At that point, yeah, you needed 7 points.
Yeah. So halftime comes. It's 21-0. It's Boo Bowl. So kudos to the band for doing Boo Bowl on the road.
Yep. Stormtroopers in the drum line and a bunch
Monkeys.
of
Or-
monkeys for the
What was the
Force
drum
was
line?
with them.
Dressed
The
as?
Stormtroopers,
Stormtroopers.
Okay.
Yeah.
which was cool.
Yeah.
And I love guys that dress up like, the Little Mermaid.
The Little Mermaid. Nice red
He was
wig.
awesome. I don't know who he was.
The look he gave.
Yeah.
Huh?
That was pretty funny. And the alien was cool too. I like that costume.
Yeah.
The alien costume was cool. There was one guy out there. I guess he forgot his instrument.
He
I
did.
don't know.
He just
He
holding
went-
his.
And he
Sounds
didn't have a costume that wouldn't allow him to play, but he just didn't have his instrument. I'm like, what in the world? Maybe they took it away from him. 21-0 at halftime. Allen's dominating the stats, dominating the game, and they get the ball. Start second half. Okay, what can you do?
Insult to injury.
Let me show you.
They start out with a 3-yard run by Jenkins, an 8-yard pass to Sherfield. Jenkins with a 5-yard run. Jenkins for 0 yards. Rayland 7-yard pass to Toure Green gets you to the Allen 41-yard line. You have a 15-yard penalty for a chop block. Oops.
Yep.
And it's 1st and 25, and I know I said this because I said we've got to play for that. We've got to play for 1st and 25.
Mm-hmm.
And it's the play of the year as far as I'm concerned from an offensive perspective. James has tweeted this video if y'all
yeah.
haven't seen it.
It's so cool.
Raylan rolls to his right.
Does a little pump.
Tajon Jackson, number 10, is running deep.
Yep. He's doubled up.
He's doubled, and Raylan throws it anyways. It is
A little
a
short.
little short.
But
A little
Tajon,
short behind him.
What does he do?
he goes up.
He goes up,
Snatches-
reaches back behind him,
Left-handed.
brings it over.
Over the player.
Tucks it, and he's gone.
It's like he was going to hit the other player in the back of the helmet.
Yeah.
And his hand was back
Oh,
there.
I don't
and
want
brought
it to
in.
hurt you.
Yeah.
Let me
Well,
take
and,
it.
and of course, this is the classic case where one tackler knocks the other one out, and
It slowed him. They didn't knock down, but it
Yeah.
slowed him up enough where Tajon was able to get some separation.
yeah, and he trots
And
into
he
the end
trots
zone.
into the end zone.
That's a thing of
And
beauty.
we're all sitting there going, what just happened?
Wow.
And again, if you haven't seen the video, go to Twitter
Go out there.
at
There's-
Big Daddy Dog. He tweeted it. The the play, and then he
out there.
slows it down in slow motion where you can see the catch.
So awesome.
Yeah,
it's
so way to
just-
go, Tejon. That showed some real skill there.
Athletic.
Yeah, athletic
James
ability,
tweeted
skill.
ESPN, so hopefully that'll make
Hey.
top 10 plays of the
Let's
week.
get it retweeted and get some top 10.
It was great.
Get it on there.
I had just shoved my mouth full of popcorn,
Did you really?
and I yelled out,
Oh,
and it just came over.
all over the place.
Yeah, that lady wasn't happy in front of you.
What? Even my wife was sitting between Alan and I was like, oh my God.
I mean, like all of it at one time went,
whoa! Here was, and I told James this later. I said, the funny thing, I said, did you see David? I said, he goes, no. I said, he turned around before he even scored and goes, did you see that catch? I'm like, David, he's still running. I'm watching that.
oh my
Who
God.
cares about that? It was the catch.
At that point, those two defensive players are looking at each other and go, what just happened?
Yeah,
You
that
know?
was awesome. So catch of the year, Tejon, and kudos to you, and kudos to Raylan when you actually he saw it or someone else tweeted it
and
earlier.
said, thanks
not
for
like
saving me, Tejon.
Yeah. Raylan goes, my boy bailed me out there because he did
Yeah.
underthrow it a little bit, but it
Well,
was
and
awesome.
that's good. You know,
and
when you
also-
appreciate your receivers as a quarterback, you got to do that.
Yeah.
All successful quarterbacks have receivers that save them.
Yeah.
Believe it or not, that is so
yeah.
true. 28-0 at that point, and the bench is going crazy, and even Gamble got all excited about that one. He
Oh,
went
he-
over. He was
yeah,
the
he
first
was-
one to meet Tejon when he
Yeah.
came off.
We were celebrating for sure.
It was really cool. The next series is when Prosper was able to get down to the Allen 9-yard line, and the defense held on 4th down. And I said, okay, we need a 90-yard play right here, right now.
That was pretty good.
And I said, all right, Randon, what do you have? Well, Jordan ran for 3 yards. And so I said, okay, what's next? And,
Jordan.
I'm sorry, Jalen.
Thank you.
Jalen Jenkins, thank you for correcting my mistakes. I know that's what you're here for. The next play, thing of beauty. And Alan and I were talking about this on the way home. The pass patterns on that, everybody went to the right,
Yeah.
and they drug Blaine Green underneath to the left on a slant. And kudos to Raylan because he actually got crushed on this play.
He did.
From both sides. He hung in there,
He was patient.
waited till Blaine cleared, threw Blaine the ball. And Blaine ran scared, man, all the way. 88 yards.
He zoomed.
I didn't think he was going to make it. The guy looked like he had an angle on it from where we were sitting.
Yeah.
And you could just see the gradual separation. And
Yep.
you're like, he's gone.
Yeah. And the guy didn't even jump for him, so
No.
it's like he knew.
88 yards later, it's another Allen touchdown.
Yep.
It's now 35-0. And you're like, fantastic.
Still in the third quarter, mind you.
Still in the third quarter. And so you're like, okay. And that's when the stand's really emptied on the Prosper side. And I'm like, thank you very much. We can get out quicker now.
Yeah, and they did that silly, and it's another Prosper.
And there's
First
no one
down.
there to
And
say
there's nobody
first
to
down.
say first down.
End of the third quarter at that point. You get into the fourth quarter. Allen gives up a late touchdown on a 15-yard pass. And other than that, Allen was ready to run out the clock and go home. 521 yards total offense.
Yeah, 333
Against the
passing.
Best
Layla-
defense. I have
in
been
the
waiting to say this
state.
since week 3. Week
Best defense
3.
in the
Hayden-
area, the
Hayden?
district.
Best defense in the state.
Their wide receiver,
Number
12. Hayden, and his last name just escapes me. Oh, I got it right here.
He was
And I know he's a
exhibiting
kid.
youthful
Hayden Metcalf.
enthusiasm.
He was.
Which, you know,
And you got to be careful when you do that because
Yep.
we have the best defense in the state. And when he said that, I was like, okay, you gave up 34 points to Flower Mound. And best defenses in the state typically don't do that. Now, you won all 3 games. But
that's
then
that-
you turn around and, as we said last week, Jesuit said, hold my beer.
yeah.
As Jesuit pounded you.
or no, hold my communion wine.
Yeah, whatever. And I could not wait for this
Hold my
game because of
catechism
that
book.
statement. So, Mr. Metcalf, you can feel free to go out today and recant if you want, or just ignore
Yeah.
the fact you ever said that.
I mean, y'all are playing great. You're going to make the playoffs. Yeah,
Catch as
good
many
luck.
passes as you can. Leave the defense analysis to someone else.
you know what? And I think, if I'm not mistaken, they're going to get Longview first round.
Oh,
That
my.
should be fun.
Oh, my.
So we'll see how good your defense is there, Hayden.
Oh, my.
At Longview.
Yeah.
And
Yeah, you won't get quite the sweet calls that you got in your house,
oh no,
in your palace in the prairie.
oh no.
Yeah,
Pasture.
that's that
So
that's that guy from East Texas.
that
you know?
great defense gave up 521 yards, 333 passing. Without its first and second running backs, Allen still rushed for 188 yards, averaged 4.9 a carry. Take that every time. Defense only gave up 276, 115 rushing, but only 2.9 per rush.
Yeah.
And we've seen that lately from this defense. It's hard to run on these guys.
And we almost doubled him, 4.9 yards per rush,
Yeah.
which is pretty good. But now Raylan with his passing, 14 and 20, that's a 70% pass completion.
Yeah, for
which is
333.
pretty doggone good.
And congratulations to the McKinney teams last night.
Oh, my God.
Getting
gosh.
up. We're getting there.
Marcus.
We're getting there.
But it is good to see what our future is at running back.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You know, against supposedly the second best
Team in the district.
team in the district.
Yep.
And my good friend from McKinney Boyd, fella that I've known for years, his name is Dungott. Dungott blown out? Yeah. So Plano.
I saw that coming.
Dungott, is he the Nigerian
He's
guy?
Indian. No, he's Indian.
Oh, he's
Indian.
It's a good transition because I told you guys this story earlier, and I heard it yesterday. And we had so much fun before we started about names in this world.
Oh my gosh.
And this is a true story. It's right here, and there's an interview with the kid.
Oh, it's on the internet, so it must be true.
Well, there's an interview with him.
Has to be.
This guy, his mom, he said, my mom came up with my name. She named me this because she knew I'd be the best athlete out of everyone in the family. Now, how a
Way to
mom
go,
can know
Mom.
that before you're born or when you're born?
When you're born,
Moms
yeah.
know a lot.
Yeah. This kid's name, bless his heart, is the coldest to ever do it, Crawford.
First name to coldest.
The coldest.
Middle name to-
DECOLDEST. Middle name to ever do it. TOEVADOIT.
I mean, Mama is the coldest one to ever have
I'm
a baby.
telling you, the coldest to ever do it, Crawford.
That's awesome.
And it's
Can you imagine Aunt B standing in the front of the classroom reading that the first day, taking
The
roll the
coldest.
first day?
The coldest.
and DeCosta has scholarship offers. He's a wide receiver. He's
Cool.
got scholarship offers from Southern University and Southern Miss, and he's only a sophomore. So there you go.
And
good.
in which state does he live?
He lives. It's either Mississippi or Louisiana. It doesn't exactly say in here. So
There you go.
Anyhow,
One of the two.
Yeah.
we love names, stories like this, and names of people. So, any of y'all out there want to name your kid something? That's pretty funny.
Yeah.
The coldest to ever do it.
Yep. And if your last name is Poole, well, you got to name your kid Bumper.
Bumper. There you go.
Just
Well, and there's the capital letters in here, you know?
Yeah, his middle name
You
is
have to see it written to
to
appreciate
ever
the
do
greatness.
it. The T, the E, and the D are all capitalized. I wish I could have been that creative with my kids' names.
nuts.
So, anyhow.
Yeah.
So
Yeah,
there
it
you go. Alan, go
Didn't
ahead.
take me long to write down grunt
Grunt.
on the
I am Groot.
birth
I
certificate.
am Groot.
14th straight district championship for the Allen Eagles.
Congratulations, Terry and the boys.
Good job,
Way
guys.
to go, all the coaches.
Good job. I know
Yeah.
that's goal number one. Is the district championship. You have that out of the way. We now have the home game for the first round of the playoffs, which looks like it's going to be Rowlett, just like last year.
And
Get
just
that
like
by-district trophy.
That's right.
2007, yeah, we'll exercise some more demons.
First, we have to get over a very large hurdle, though.
Oh.
We do.
Oh.
And as we go around District 9-6A last night, we spoke last week about
There were some shockers,
things that had to happen because there's one playoff spot left open,
right?
and it came down to Plano and McKinney.
Right. It's Allen Prosper Jesuit for all of those that are wondering. They're going to make it.
And so we said last week, Plano needed to win one of its last two games. McKinney needed to win out.
Right.
Yeah, but you looked at this week's schedule. I'm fixing to sneeze.
Huh? We'll edit that out,
Bless
or
you.
maybe not. Way to go, Mark.
Salute.
Salute. You looked at this week's schedule and sorry guys. Plano was at home Now I got your sneezes from when you
telling
walked in the
you.
door. Plano was at home playing McKinney Boyd,
Yeah.
and McKinney was at home playing Jesuit.
Yeah.
So you look at that and you go, theoretically speaking, in my
It
mind,
could happen.
Jesuit should win,
Yep.
and
They
Plano
should.
should win.
The Jesuits
and that
a
would
strong
take care
team.
of the whole district thing.
But we saw from the Boyd game that Boyd is a really feisty team. They're very hard playing, and they got some speed around the corners on defense. And
Which will make it a good game this next week as McKinney plays Boyd.
What are you laughing about?
that is.
Yeah, I was trying not
I
to
thought you
sneeze
were.
again.
I thought a big one was. I thought you were going to fill the screen.
Yes, you. That game gets real big because Plano threw up the big goose egg
Yeah.
against
Against Boyd.
McKinney Boyd. It was
God.
7-0 at halftime, I think, and they
Yeah,
ended up
Dunn got
losing
shut out.
21-0.
28-0.
Excuse me,
28.
28-0.
20-0. That's
And
embarrassing.
points are going to make a big difference.
If there's a tiebreaker, for sure.
And you're like, what in the heck, Plano?
PLAIN''O.
Oh, my.
We have talked about them for several years. Just the epitome of mediocrity.
They seem to be lost. They're wandering in the desert. It's in it.
How long are they going to let that go on?
I know, because what we're Plano City champions coming next week. Hopefully, if we beat West for 14, is it 14 or 16 years?
It'll be,
oh my gosh!
Yeah, it'd be 14 years because we lost to.
Ever? Yeah, it's 2005 was the last time we lost
to
against
Plano.
them.
To me, it's very interesting though, because you remember, was it 2 years ago that Plano East was?
It was last
Yeah,
year.
they're ro-
Well,
No,
2
2 years
ago.
ago, they were
All the
supposed to have a
media-
really good-
All the media was talking about them, about how
really
great they were
talented.
and all this stuff.
Lots of
They played Allen.
prospects.
Allen waxed them, and they went like 1-40 after that
After
or whatever.
that.
You know, I mean, it was
It was
just
horrible.
to see what happened, and then to see the difference between the way that team responded to a loss and the way that McKinney Boyd responded to getting beat last week. One of those two teams, even though they lost, still had a lot of confidence in what they could do, and it was evident last night that McKinney Boyd was that team.
And I will place that directly on the coaching staff.
Absolutely.
You look at those two staffs. Joe McBride,
Yeah.
was at Coppell for a long time.
Yeah.
And like James said, Coppell played Allen tough because they continued to schedule
Always.
Allen. Always played him
Always.
tough. And we talked this morning at breakfast about how Boyd, you seem to see, now it's a process.
Yeah.
And this is his first year there, but you can see, I felt last week that McCoy, Boyd played very, very hard the whole game. And they had some talent on that team.
It's some speed.
And
speed
the
for sure.
24-0 was partly Allen's fault, but I think part of that, I think Boyd's getting a little better, and I think the results of what you're talking about, they
Absolutely showed up.
they didn't have to play hard this week, but they did, and they won a game. And you know what? That builds confidence for those sophomores and juniors that are going to be back next year.
Yeah, well, and that's where a McBride coach team, he seems to be able to really get the absolute best out of whatever talent he
Yep.
has, and,
Yep.
and that's
And
impressive.
So Boyd beats Plano, and up in McKinney disposes of Jesuit.
Mm-hmm.
We're like,
Who would have thought that?
who would have thought that?
I know, because
And-
Jesuit is like the world beaters with E.J. Smith.
And I think you're just like you were last year. You go to the last game of the year, and it's the same situation. Plano and McKinney vying for that last playoff spot. Plano gets to travel to Prosper. You look at that, you go, Prosper should beat those guys.
It'll be interesting to see how they respond after this loss.
There you go. They're because they really got waxed last night. Whether the score wasn't 60, but it
Should
very
have
well
been.
could have been, and because they did not. I'm going to say they did
didn't
not
play
play
well.
well. They didn't play well, or Allen played really great. They've got to come back and bounce back.
Well, they didn't live up to their hype.
Yeah.
You know.
And again, that was a huge game for them.
Yep.
I mean, they had a lot of people there. And Allen's in town. They're our new place. We're going to show them. They didn't show us anything. And then, like David said earlier, over on the east side now, you've got McKinney and McKinney
right.
Boyd playing. McKinney vying for a playoff
Left
spot.
spot. Yeah, Marcus Shavers, go.
Boyd
man,
playing
go.
for, hey, this is inner city rivalry here.
Yeah.
It's a rivalry game, and that ought to be really interesting because I look at it and say Plano's going to lose. So if McKinney wins,
It's too bad we got a game to go to, or I wouldn't mind.
Yeah,
and
going
we
like to go
need
and
to
see
go
that.
now because the shock of all shockers. I'm not going to say it's a shock. I'm just going to say In an inner city rivalry game last night, Plano East breaks a 34-game losing streak.
Or Plano West does, yeah.
West, yeah, not East. East
Plano
is
East
that
allows
way.
them to, yeah.
Same thing.
Scores with 10 seconds left to take the lead. And intercepts the ball in the end zone on the last play of the game.
To close
hold
it out.
on to win 36-35 over Plano East. So Plano West, kudos to you guys.
Congratulations.
You're on a 1-game win streak, and you get to get a snoot full of Allen next week. So we got to be prepared because they're on a roll.
Yeah.
Good for those kids. I mean,
yeah, there's a video of the Plano
Roll?
West cheer, where that had a video on the sidelines, and they went nuts. You could see all 10
Plano
fans
West,
in
the
the
one
in
with
the
that guy
stands.
cheerleader?
yes.
Who did the jump splits? Oh,
He was great.
And
I wonder if he's still. No, he's gone by now.
No, he's
but
gone.
He
He's
was
gone.
awesome.
Yeah,
Yeah.
that was very entertaining.
But congratulations to the Wolves. You know, I can't imagine going through that. You know, a senior
that long
that's
of
been
a
on the
losing
team
streak?
3 years. They haven't done one since 2016.
can you imagine?
Yeah.
And that's been a while. You know, and it wasn't that far long ago. You know, when Sosa was there and they were challenging Allen for district titles.
They went like 3 rounds deep in
Yeah.
the playoffs.
Yeah,
And it just.
yeah.
So congratulations. You're no longer with the longest losing streak in the state. Not that was them, but they were trying really
Yeah,
hard.
really.
So next week, Allen gets Plano West.
Yep.
I'm going to predict a lot of depth playing on Friday night.
Well said.
Yeah,
Allowing some other people to continue to heal up for the playoffs.
That's right.
You know, you don't necessarily, in my mind, you don't necessarily need them next week, but you're going to have to play hard. And,
yeah. Coach Gamble's going to be doing his best
Oh,
Oprah impression.
speaking of
you get to
which.
play, and you get to play, and you get to play.
I'm calling out the ball boys.
Oh, yeah. Coach Gamble called out the ball boys.
He didn't coach them up hard enough.
No, he didn't.
He didn't.
He gave him a break.
He always high-fiving them, and he should have been like all in their faces because at the end of the game, you know,
They were all packed up.
4th down,
Well, 23 seconds left. The clock is stopped.
Prosper goes for it. They don't get it, and the ball boys have all the balls packed up. And the referees are yelling for balls,
We need a
and
ball.
the coaches yell for
Where's
balls.
Allen's ball?
And y'all know who you are. And coaches, you know who you are. And
Yeah.
you know whose sons they are. And
Yeah,
they're
exactly.
Nowhere to be found.
Stinking.
Wow.
And so they finally get up to Gamble's yelling at him. They finally get up to him with the ball, and he
Oh,
high-fives
the
them. I'm
sixth
like,
graders.
dude.
Stop
No,
encouraging
no.
that
If that was a
behavior.
player, you'd be all up in his
Well,
face doing stuff.
That one kid wasn't going to give the ball up.
Yeah.
He had that ball in his hand, and
Yeah,
you know, I got this ball.
So, shame on you. Game ain't over till it's over. Come on, coach. I think you need to suspend them for a week.
Yeah.
Something.
Something. There has to be repercussions.
Make
They
them do
need-
stands.
they
Run
need
some
to wash all
stands
the
or
jocks.
something. Yeah.
wash them with jocks.
They don't
so-
use those anymore.
That's so
They're into
1960s.
Oh
Yeah.
my gosh, it's crazy. All right, we got to talk basketball.
Do
Before we do that,
Oh, the
I have
girls-
2 call-outs.
Uh-oh.
Shout out,
Shout-outs.
brother.
Call
Shout
I
out.
would call them out. No, I'm not going to call them out. I'm going to shout them out. First of all, okay, so I was watching Tony's video. Maybe it was...
It wasn't the last week's video.
No, it was...
Jesuit?
Maybe it was Jesuit. And number 65, Josiah, another biblical name. What is this with this team? So religious.
It's the
Josiah
community.
Nicholas, number
Yeah.
65. He's a senior lineman.
Brother of Peter Nicholas
Yes.
from a couple years ago.
and Jack.
And Jack's
No.
grandson.
Different spelling.
No. But I just noticed on there, and I can't remember who the ball carrier was, if it was one of the running backs or if it was Raylan. The shot is from behind, and you see the running back or whomever, the ball carrier, run into the left and got like a 15 or 20-yard run, and you see 65, he finished his block, and then he took off at a sprint.
Downfield.
And you don't see offensive linemen sprinting too often.
No.
Especially last year's group. Anyway, and
Youthful
so,
exuberance.
I mean, he took off and he was running, and it shows him from behind, and he ran down, I mean, and he was giving it all, and so I just wanted to do a shout out for him for that extra effort, because it's stuff like that.
That
You
goes
know,
a
they
long
could win
way.
a game. I mean, somebody goes out there, and Raylan or whoever it was whomever it was
Yeah.
might fumble it, and there's your lineman that can jump on the
and,
ball.
I mean, how many
instead
other-
of just standing there watching.
We've had some other linemen like that. Tejan Kroma. Dude would be 30 yards down the field blocking somebody. And
Till the whistle goes,
McNulty,
you just
same
keep
thing.
playing.
Downfield blocking somebody.
The second
It's
one,
impressive.
Whoa.
got to give the Hammer
Yes,
Award.
Judge.
First
Hammer.
annual Hammer Award. Matthew Norman, y'all.
Oh, my God.
Wow.
He was a headhunter.
I mean, Mark
last
said,
night.
whenever you hear plastic slapping plastic, you know number 6 is getting up off of the pile.
Yeah.
Because Matthew Norman, that's what he sees.
Yeah. There's a target
I mean,
downfield.
when he's playing, that's all he sees on the back of guys' helmets, heads, whatever,
Yeah.
bodies.
Bodies. Yeah, body
But I
shots.
mean, he's got a target on all these people,
Thank you,
and
Lee
that is
Corso.
that. Yes, I'm about as
Mr.
coherent
Pop,
as
where's that
Mr.
eagle
Corso
helmet?
too. But
Yeah,
man,
that eagle helmet
We
up.
should have had the
I know.
it is fun to see somebody that loves.
And I think that may have been part of the
Contact.
reason that he moved to safety.
Yep.
It's because, well, and not that Zatique wouldn't, because Zatique will certainly hit you too.
Yeah.
But Norman
We had a cranker last night.
is a headhunter, and,
Yeah.
and I mean that in a nice way. He's not afraid to mix it up, and he's not that big of a kid.
No.
He's very fast, but boy, he will. And a couple times last night,
He
you knew
was
who it
getting into
was.
it,
The
yeah.
minute you heard it, you knew who it was.
Yeah.
So good call. Good call to him.
And so we're most likely to have Rowlett in the playoffs, first
Yes.
round of the playoffs.
It'll be a home game,
Yep.
so get your tickets. Be there.
Get your own tickets.
Are those
you have
reserve
the option.
seats?
We get
Yes.
our home second
Yeah.
tickets. Yes,
Yes.
Are they
yes, they are
reserved seats?
reserved.
They're reserved.
Actual seated reserve seats.
Oh
Yes.
wow! Ooh, wow!
Yeah.
That's weird.
That'll come up. But we got to get past West first, so let's not overlook.
No, we don't. We're there no matter what. We'd like to beat West.
Oh my gosh! Could you imagine?
I
Breaking the home.
bet we'd lead off Sports Day if that happened.
Oh my
later.
gosh! Absolutely.
You know,
West is on a
we've
winning
seen two
streak.
brand new stadiums, McKinney's and Prosper's, and although they're nice, I'd still take ours over
Oh,
anybody's in
Ours
the
is
of
so
the week.
nice. It's so nice.
As much flack as Allen ISD took for
Cost.
building that
Yeah.
stadium at the time, it's twice as nice
Yeah.
as Katie's,
And
anybody's.
And what a lot of people don't know and didn't know and still probably don't know is everything that's involved within the stadium, underneath it, and
Yeah.
everything else
Yeah.
that's part of it. Which makes it even better.
It was nice. Okay, after the game last night, as we wait for traffic to roll out of there, we have a visit from a good friend of ours. Coach Old Chuck stops by.
Yep.
And boy, he has a lot to say about last week's podcast. He listens hard. We've learned because he was repeating everything that was going on. He complimented you on being all dressed up.
Wow!
Ready to go to work?
A
Yeah.
lot changes.
Yeah. So he's going to be disappointed this week because you didn't do it 2 weeks in a row. But we want to give a shout out to the basketball guys because basketball season, excuse me, the kickoff pep off.
The tip off. The tip off.
Tip off, pepper off.
Dumb tongue.
You pulled a Nolan.
The pep rally was this week, and basketball scrimmages will start in about a week. And the regular season starts on the 18th against West Mesquite at home. And I can't wait to see what the student section does. If they
I hope
Carry over.
I hope they show out.
it's a
Yeah.
Monday night, we'll be there.
God, would that not make it fun?
Yeah, it would be. And they're pretty loaded this year. I know I looked at the preseason rankings. They're ranked 12th in the state, which is a good starting spot. Bunch of returning starters. They did lose Isaiah Stevens to Colorado State, but
Yep.
Manny Obaseki and Bryce Kennedy and Ty Elder's back.
Yeah.
Mason
Gibson.
Gibson is
Gibson.
back. So you got four starters back on that.
And you got the Green Twins to kind of fill in the backside
They'll
of that.
get there
coming
eventually.
Up. Yeah.
So they play Mesquite, West Mesquite on the 18th, and then they head down to Pasadena to play McDonald's Invitational, which they played every year, and they won it a couple of years. So that's pretty cool. Circle your calendars for December 3rd. Denton Geyer comes to town. Coach Long, one of our
big game,
buddies.
yeah.
Can't wait to see him. We got a little surprise for him on
Yep.
that night,
Yep.
which will be good. And then that same week they go to the Garland tournament, which they've played well in. In they've got DeSoto they're playing. They got Hebron at home. DeSoto's away. South Grand Prairie will be an away game. The end of December is the annual Allen.
What's
Holiday
the name of
Invitational.
that tournament?
Some California burger.
What was
company.
that?
In-N-Out burger.
Not anymore.
What was that?
According to this, it's called the Allen Holiday Invitational.
Wow,
So In-N-Out may or may not be sponsoring
In-N-Out
anymore.
backed out.
So we'll see. It needs to be. There is a Whataburger tournament, but I think
They
that's
can't afford
totally
to
different.
sponsor anymore because Waterbury's kind of
Maybe we should sponsor the tournament.
So,
Yeah.
The BEBC
Whataburger
Tournament of
sponsor.
Champions.
that would be funny. I wonder how much they charge us.
If
to do
only
it.
we could win the lottery and afford to do that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So
I'd love to sponsor.
And then
some
January
college
rolls
stuff.
around and they go and get into district play for the
Yep.
rest of the year.
Get
so
deep. Get deep.
it basketball season's here, folks, and they do have a pretty deep team. And
So you got to come out and watch. Give the basketball team some love and some
If you
That's
attention.
out of the table.
If you like a lot of alley oops and stuff like that,
Gosh.
very
this
athletic.
is the team to watch.
Yeah.
Very athletic. Manny's a 4-star recruit. Highly ranked in the state of Texas, and he's just is he a senior or just a junior? He'll be a junior this year. So you want to see somebody that can jump out of the gym. That kid right there can jump out of the gym. So that'll be good to see his progression. But yeah, we talked to John, and he's all excited, and they're looking forward to a great year. And we told him, hey, we'll be there and encourage people to come out. Football's great, basketball's fun.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So come out and give the basketball team a hand.
Yeah, give them some love. They'll be very good this year, and they'll be. I'm just gonna keep rolling because
Please do.
if we stop now,
Gosh.
the giggles will start.
Sorry,
and they
John.
Will never end.
Judas Priest.
Oh my lord!
Oh, we're hell bent.
Yeah. Yes, you are.
Hellbound,
I mean,
you are. That might be. So anyhow, next week, Plano West, 7:00, Clark. Come on out, support the Eagles. They're last regular season game before we
do
get.
we have to go all the way down there?
We have to go all the way to Clark. Oh, here's the other thing.
Pack a sack lunch.
Oh my God. Get it out of your system.
I need to.
Come on, Juanita.
No golf carts allowed at Prosper. What is up with that?
Or noisemakers.
Not even cowbells? Did they not let cowbells?
They
A lot of growing pains.
A lot of people got cowbells in.
Yeah,
Yeah.
a lot of growing pains up there.
No noisemakers, but yet they got one of them big stupid horns, which is the biggest noisemaker
Locomotive
there
horn.
is.
And they let one go right when their band was still playing.
It's just like, really? What is wrong with golf carts?
Can
What kind of problem do they have with golf carts?
Can adult fifth graders not have any fun anymore?
No.
Come on.
It's the liability because so many people have been run over by golf carts.
Is that what
Yeah.
it is?
Or fall out of them.
Kind
or
of like
whatever.
in AT&T Stadium when that coach got run over by the
Oh,
golf
my
cart.
well, after last night, they ought to limit the amount of police officers who can drive around the parking lot.
There were a lot of cops.
Hey, the girls' track team doing the relay
country?
team,
Cross country team. Yes.
doing really well.
Made it to state.
Yep.
Wow.
That's good. And Allen, I can't remember his name. He got like third or fourth in state last year.
Jonathan Chung.
Yeah.
And he qualified again, so he'll be running.
I see
That's
him
good.
early in the morning. I see him running around. It's just like, man.
That's what you got to do.
What
man.
dedication.
So
That's
good for
crazy.
Jonathan. All right. It's Saturday. Enjoy your college football.
Yeah. And hey, for
Well-
all of you water polo players, the UIL has voted water polo in as a UIL sport.
I wonder how long it'll take Allen to have a team.
Hey, let me tell you, I played water polo in high school.
It's not
It
easy.
is not an easy sport.
You were able to stand up on the bottom.
Yeah, pretty much. Well, that was it. We didn't have a
They
pool.
play in a 5-foot pool.
Yeah, we didn't have a pool. We had one deep end and you shallow end, and you got to not stand on the bottom. It's hard.
No, that's
Treading
sport.
water
You see in the
for-
I
Olympics and
figured
all that.
bowling would make it in, out of the club sport phase
Yeah.
and into UIL
It's an
before that
iceberg
would.
sport because 90% of what goes on underwater.
Underneath the water, and that is fun to watch. And you see
Man.
everything going on down there. It's crazy. Those guys are
The
and
only
the women.
swimming sport where you should be wearing a cup.
Yeah, that's right.
Sorry, ladies.
And on that note, folks, I hope you enjoyed episode 55. We're rolling along here, man. It's
Yeah.
like 50 was so long ago. 55 now,
I
so
know. I can't believe it. It's like the winds. I mean,
they just keep rolling along.
It breaks.
W.
What is that? 74, 75 regular season wins in a row now.
Uh-huh.
Yeah.
So congratulations, guys. Keep it rolling. So until next week, go be kind. Do something nice for somebody today. We're out.